Hare Krishna, Vijay. Host text is on it? Oh, it is on. Okay. Okay, brother.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तेरा वनचारी जमुना तेरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशिष्य श्रीमद् अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन ब्यूटी फाउंडर आचार्य डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशिष्य श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्री माधवेंद्र पुरी की समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories to the assembly devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sha Padantikam Vandehang Sri Gura Sri Juta Padakamalang Sri Gurung Vaishnavangsya Sri Rupang Sagrajatang सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादं सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिष्ये नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। So reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 4, chapter is entitled Sri Madhavendra Puri's Devotional Service, text number 186. Progharo premere swabhava vacha নিজ দুঃখ বিঘ্নাদের না করে বিচার প্রগাঢ় প্রেমের এই স্বভাব আচার নিজ দুঃখ বিঘ্নাদের না করে বিচার প্রগাঢ় প্রেমের এই স্বভাব আচার নিজ দুঃখ বিঘ্নাদের না করে বিচার প্রগাঢ় intense premera love of Godhead, of love of Godhead. এই this swabhava natural, achara behavior, nija personal, dukkha inconvenience, vigna impediments, adir and so on. Na not, kare does, vichar consideration. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. This is a natural result of intense love of Godhead. The devotee does not consider personal inconveniences or impediments. In all circumstances, he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is natural for those who have developed intense love for Krishna not to care for personal inconvenience and impediments. Such devotees are simply determined to execute the order of the spirit of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative, the spiritual master. In all circumstances, even amidst the greatest dangers, they undeviatingly carry on with greatest determination. This definitely proves the intense love of the servitor, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tatte anukampam susuvikshamano. Those who seriously desire to get free from the clutches of material existence, who have developed intense love for Krishna, are worthy candidates for going back home, back to Godhead. An intense lover of Krishna does not care for any number of material discomforts, scarcity, impediments, or unhappiness. It is said that when one sees apparent unhappiness or distress in a perfect Vaishnava, it is not at all unhappiness for him. Rather, it is transcendental bliss. In the Sikhastak, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also instructed, Aslishava Padaratang Pinustumam. The intense lover of Krishna is never deviated from his service, despite all difficulties and impediments brought before him. Mukam karati vachalam pangulanghaite giring jat kripatamaham vande Sri Gurudinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So yesterday was the disappearance day of Srila Madhavendra Puri, and there's a great festival. There was a great festival yesterday at Santipur, the place of Advaita Acharya, and it is predicted that anybody who will take prasadam at Santipur on this day, means yesterday, he will get love of Godhead. So Somehow we are here in some other place, but transcendentally we can be in that place also. So remembering Madhavendra Puri, we'll be discussing about his glorious devotional service. So Madhavendra Puri is in a very special category. Srila Prabhupada writes that Madhavendra Puri has introduced that conjugal mellow, the loving reciprocation between Krishna and the gopis in Vrindavan into this material world by Madhavendra Puri. Before that, it was not available so much. So we are grateful to Madhavendra Puri because Mahaprabhu's purpose of advent in this material world also is the same, to reveal the love of the Brajavasis to this material world and also give an access to the conditioned soul to that uncommon treasure not available to Brahma and Shiva also. So Madhavendra Puri, he was a sannyasi, Paramhamsa sannyasi, and he was in a position, such a position that he was not begging for food. One of the aspects of sannyas that they should beg and take prasad. Begging, and after begging whatever is available, then take. But Madhavendra Puri was beyond that level. If anybody comes and gives him prasad, then he will take, otherwise not hungry, he will not take prasad. They are transcendental to the hunger also, otherwise how they can continue like that. Goswamis are also in that platform. They are always absorbed in the higher taste of Krishna consciousness. When someone is experiencing some higher taste, then they will not experience the separation from the lower taste. But if someone is not experiencing higher taste and artificially trying to renounce, then they will feel separation from that. Just like on Janmashtami, whether you remember Krishna or not, you always try to remember when that 12 o'clock time will come. Right? Because we are not at that level. But someone who is at that level will experience. Srila Prabhupada, after Abhishek of Lord Krishna on Janmashtami, he said, let's read Krishna book. Generally, after Abhishek, the most important aspect of the day comes. And everybody was expecting that. But Prabhupada said, let's relish Krishna book. First chapter was read by Prabhupada and everybody started celebrating Jai Srila Prabhupada, thinking that he'll stop. But Prabhupada was unstoppable. And others, those who are hearing, they are experiencing the pain of separation from Prasad. But Srila Prabhupada was experiencing the bliss of Krishna book. That shows the level. We can talk philosophy, but when practicality comes, people will be exposed. We should not try to artificially show what we are not. Madhavendra Puri was at that level. So he came to Vrindavan Dham and he was doing Govardhan Parikrama. And after finishing Parikrama, he took bath at Govinda Kund and he was a little tired. So he was a little bit taking rest. That time, one small beautiful boy came to offer milk to Madhavendra Puri. By seeing the beautiful form, Madhavendra Puri was enchanted, because that small boy was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. So that is the level of Madhavendra Puri. Krishna personally takes care. Those who are completely dependent on Krishna, Krishna personally takes care. So for that, we have to achieve some level. Complete surrender. Saranga Sharanagati hoibe jahar, tahar parthana sune Sri Nanda Kumar. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that those who have developed complete surrender, their prayers are heard by Krishna. So Saranga Sharanagati, the 6 limbs of surrender, are very, very important aspect in our devotional life, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains Bhakti means Sharanagati. Sharanagati means Bhakti. And Sharanagati begins with humility, Daina. So in that way, surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the principle of Bhakti. And what is the meaning of Sharanagati? Meaning of Sharanagati means giving the control of our life to Krishna. In this world, we want to be the controller, forgetting the real controller. And we are suffering in this world because we have forgotten Krishna. That is the root cause of our suffering. Krishna Bhuli. Krishna Bhuli seiji vanadi bahir mukh, ate mayatare dai, sangsara diduk. Krishna bahir mukh hoiya bhagavancha kore, nikatastha mayatare jhapati adhar. So Krishna Bhuli seiji anadi bahir mukh. Those who have forgotten Krishna, they go through the miseries of this material existence. So when someone forgets Krishna, then he develops the mood of controllership, because somebody has to control. So when we reject the real controller, then we become the controllers. We cannot become, but we think we are. That is the Maya. What is the meaning of Maya? Thinking that we are the controllers. And when we act on the platform of that principle, then we go through different kinds of inconveniences of this material world. Mainly mental anxiety. In this world, people are experiencing anxiety. Lot of anxiety. Even practicing Krishna consciousness does not allow a person to come out from that anxiety. Why? Because it's very difficult to give up that I am the controller. So as long as that attitude will be there, it is very difficult to experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So Madhavendra Puri was completely dependent on Krishna. That is the meaning of sannyas also. Sannyas means complete dependence on Krishna. Rakho bhi maro bhi jo ichha tuhara. And because a devotee at that level completely depends on Krishna, Krishna completely takes care of that person. So Madhavendra Puri was fasting. So Krishna knew that he is fasting, he needs food. So Krishna personally came to give milk to Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri asked him that how you came to know that I am fasting. He said, in this village, nobody goes hungry. People come and beg and they get prasad and they eat. But if someone does not beg, then food is provided to them. So some ladies came here to Govinda Kund. They saw that you are chanting, you are not taking any food. So they informed me. That's why I came here to give you milk. And he said that I'll come back. So I have some work to do. I have to milk the cows now. So I'll come to take the pot. Then the boy disappeared, never came back. Madhavendra Puri was experiencing the bliss, and he was also experiencing the nectar of that milk. It's not an ordinary milk, transcendental milk. So he was experiencing the nectar. And he was chanting the holy name, and he was thinking that how unfortunate I am that I could not recognize Krishna. He came and left. So he was chanting. Then at the end of night, he kind of dozed off, little bit taking rest. That time Krishna appeared. The same boy appeared in the dream. And he took the hand of Madhavendra Puri and told that I am from that, I am Gopal, I am from that bush. And I was installed by Vajranav. I am Gopal. I am the king of this place. I am the master of this place. So Pujari is left out of the attack, fear of the attack, and from then I am suffering here. I am suffering the heat, I am suffering the cold, I am suffering the rainy season, everything, and I have been waiting for you. So Krishna hankers for the service of the pure devotees. That is the level. So Krishna was waiting for Madhavendra Puri to come to start the service. So Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. We may think, oh, we are rendering so many services and feel very proud. Whether Krishna is accepting that service or not, that should be checked first. So Krishna accepts the service of that devotee who is having that mood of humility, that mood of love, mood of devotion. Patrang pushpang phalang toyang jome bhakta prajachati. That mood is very, very important. Bhava. If that bhava is missing, then offering is also incomplete. Patrang pushpang phalang toyang jome bhakta prajachati. It has to be offered with devotion. Right? Content is not important, intent is important. Content is also important, but more important than content is intent. When Krishna went to Hastinapur, Duryodhan offered good content, Rajbhog, but intent was not there. That's why Krishna did not go there. But Vidura's wife, she did not have the content, but had the intent, and Krishna accepted it. So by this, Krishna is establishing the higher principle of bhava. Krishna is bhavagrahi janardhan. So that mood has to be cultivated in our heart. And that is the meaning of bhakti. Rupa Goswami explains Suddha Bhakti as Anna Bhilasita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anabritam. So these two things are very, very important. Anna Vilasita Sunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anabritam. So Jnana Karmadi Anabritam means purity of the process. And Anna Vilasita Sunyam is the purity of the intention. Purity of the prayojan. Process is avidya and intent is prayojana. So actually the intent Anna Vilasita Sunyam is the purity of the intent. What is that purity? Desire to please Krishna. No other desire. Anna Vilasita Sunyam means only one desire. Desire to please Krishna. That is the purity of the intent. And what is the purity of the content? Jnana Karmadi Anabritam. The bhakti should be uncovered, should not be covered over by karma and jnana. We should practice bhakti, the process of bhakti, limbs of bhakti, Navavidha bhakti, but that should not be covered by karma and jnana. That is the purity of the process. So in order to qualify as pure devotional service, the process has to be pure and the purpose of the process has to be pure. Means the process has to be pure and who is practicing that process should be pure also. Otherwise, it's not a pure devotional service. Someone may chant the holy name of the Lord. Holy name is pure. But if someone who is chanting is not pure, then that bhakti will not be Shuddha bhakti. That can be Rajasic bhakti, Tamasic bhakti, then Sattvic bhakti, then Nirguna bhakti. Kapil Muni explains that in Srimad Bhagavatam to Mother Devavati. So both are important in order to qualify as pure devotional service. Both the intent and the content. Both the process and the person who is practicing the process. Both have to be pure. Sometimes people think, oh, we are doing sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti, all are Shuddha bhakti, described by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion. It is not that sadhana bhakti is impure, then when you achieve bhava, then that is pure. No. Pure devotional service has three levels: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Uttama bhakti has three levels: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. It's not that people think, oh, he is doing bhava bhakti, that's why he is doing uttama bhakti. That is not the concept. Uttama bhakti is the subject matter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Uttama bhakti can be performed at the level of sadhana. Uttama bhakti can be performed at the level of bhava. And so Uttama bhakti can be performed at the level of prema. Clear? So Madhavendra Puri was at that top level of bhava, top level of prema. Prema has also different levels: sneha, mana, pranaya, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav, all different levels. So Madhavendra Puri was at the top level of prema. So that kind of devotee attracts Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. Krishna attracts everyone, but pure devotee at that level attracts Krishna. So one of the characteristics or one of the qualities of prema bhakti is Sri Krishna Akarshani. It has a potential to attract Krishna. Krishna is all attractive, but when someone develops prema bhakti, especially Braja prema bhakti, Kevala prema, that attracts Krishna. So Madhavendra Puri had that kind of love. That's why Krishna was attracted by Madhavendra Puri's pure devotional service. That's why he was waiting for Madhavendra Puri to come, waiting for his devotional service. See, that is the level. Mahaprabhu went to Ramkeli to visit Rup Sanatan. We just run behind God, but God runs behind pure devotees. Right? So that is a potency. Because Sri Krishna Akarshani, that pure devotional service at the level of Prema Bhakti, attracts the most attractive Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So Madhavendra Puri was at that level. Then Madhavendra Puri saw that wonderful boy, Krishna, came in the dream and instructed him, although he was old, very old, instructed him that you should build a temple and establish me and start the service again. So then dream came to an end. Madhavendra Puri woke up. So he was thinking what happened. Then he became ready to render the service. He was in ecstasy, seeing Krishna. But more important than that is to do the service. This is a principle. Ecstasy is very high principle, but service to Krishna is more important than experiencing ecstasy. Sometimes gopis tell the ecstasies, please don't come and disturb us. When ecstasy comes, there is a disturbance in the service. So gopis of Vrindavan, they don't want ecstasy. They want to please Krishna. That is the highest principle. So here also Madhavendra Puri came out from his ecstasy externally and preparing himself to start the service given by Gopal to him. So rendering service is the highest principle. So Madhavendra Puri was an old man, but he was a pure devotee. So Madhavendra Puri went to the village and told the villagers about the dream, and all the villagers assembled together and discovered that wonderful deity. It was a very heavy deity, and it was taken to the top of the hill. Temporarily, altar has been made with the stones. Then Abhishek was performed. Many pots of water and other ingredients of Abhishek were brought in without any sponsorship program. Naturally, the villagers came. It was quantity was an unlimited quantity. Then Abhishek was performed. Then Bhoga offering was done. The next day morning, they thought that we should offer a wonderful feast to Gopal. Then rice, then wheat, all these things came. Then rice was made, chapatis were made, then all kinds of vegetables were made, sweet rice was made, the annakut, which was offered to Giriraj during Krishna's pastime. Same kind of offering was done by the leadership of Madhavendra Puri. And not only one day, so next day also other villagers came and said, we want to do also. No problem. Next day Annakut. In that way, many days this Annakut festival continued. That is the power. And this Annakut festival was organized in one day. One day. No meeting. Meeting was there, but no planning. And things were manifesting naturally. When love is there, everything will fall in line. Management will, Prabhupada said, when there is devotion, management will follow like a shadow. But if there is no devotion, then only meeting after meeting, but no devotion. That is the higher principle of love and devotion. Organization is needed, but that will be a shadow if there is that kind of love. In Vrindavan also, in Goloka Vrindavan, everything is highly organized. But organization is not the main focus. Love is the main focus. And that expression of love is also in the form of wonderful organization. It is said, when you love someone, then you go into the details. Symptom of Raganuga Bhakti is to improve the quality of our service. That is a symptom of Raganuga Bhakti. And what is the Vaidhi Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti means mechanical. Mechanically you are doing. Systematically you are doing. There is no substance inside. When we want to improve the quality of service, that is the symptom of Raganuga Bhakti. They can experience Vrindavan. It's not the big service, it's the quality service that will help us to experience Vrindavan. Even if some cooking, if you do with proper mood, how to improve the quality of cooking, by that you can experience Vrindavan. Someone is making flower garland. If someone is putting his heart, how to improve the quality of the flower garland, then that will be the symptom of Raganuga Bhakti. Whatever service is done with that mood of improving the quality, that is the symptom of Vrindavan. So here, they are all offering out of love. Because Madhavendra Puri is the pure devotee, they are attracted by Madhavendra Puri. And through him, a lot of services are done by so many people from neighboring villages, from whole district. News spread all over. And it is said that they got all kinds of ornaments, golden ornaments and other ornaments. Then someone built the temple, someone built the boundary wall. In that way, the whole facility has been built without any fundraising campaign. That is the power of purity. That's why Prabhupada said, your duty is to preach Krishna consciousness. And it is Krishna's duty to provide all the facility. That is Prabhupada's conviction. Because we don't have that conviction, that's why we have to do so many other things. So in that conviction is there that Krishna will supply everything, then things will become very spiritual. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that Madhavendra Puri did in one day. So he told our Krishna consciousness movement also spread all over the world in 5 years. Prabhupada is trying to give a case study. The same thing happens. In 5 years, Krishna consciousness spread all over the world. How it is possible? Prabhupada said everything is done in ISKCON by the superintendence of Sriman Mahaprabhu. When we have that experience, then it will expand exponentially. Because Krishna acts in that way, unlimited way. But when we think we are the person doing it, then it will also expand, but in a limited way. Because Krishna wants to reciprocate with everyone. When we have the conviction that Krishna is doing everything, then it will grow unlimitedly. So if something is happening unlimitedly, then it has to be understood that Krishna's mercy is flowing. So here, Madhavendra Puri, old man, and there was no planning, but everything was organized so wonderfully in one day. That shows that it was being managed by Krishna himself. So that is the principle of devotional service, that we are not the doers. Actually, everything is done by either material energy or spiritual energy. Those who are fools, they think they are the doers. Right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that everything is done by 3 modes of material nature. But ahankara vimratma kartamiti mannate. Those who are fools, out of ego, they think they are the doers. In the same way, the spiritual aspect also, the devotional service is conducted by the spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are fools, they think they are doing it. So, the ego of doership is the great obstacle to experience the presence of Krishna in our life. So Madhavendra Puri was completely pure, so he could understand that everything is being managed by Krishna, and he had complete faith in that. That's why everything was wonderfully manifested. So then 2 pujaris came, and also Madhavendra Puri initiated many brahmanas and engaged them in different services of Gopal. Then from Bengal, 2 wonderful brahmana came, and Madhavendra Puri liked them and initiated them and entrusted the deity worship service to these 2 wonderful Vaishnavas from Bengal. In that way, 2 years passed. Then second dream. So first dream was at the bank of Govind Kund. Now second dream. Gopal appeared in the dream of Madhavendra Puri and told that although you did wonderful service by bathing me, Abhishek was very nice, still my body is hot. And this heat will go away if you bring sandalwood from Malaya province. You go to Jagannath Puri and bring sandalwood. He is a very old man. And from Vrindavan to Puri, long distance. That time there was no transport facility. You have to walk. So why Krishna is doing that? Madhavendra Puri is at the level of Prema Bhakti. Why? Krishna is wonderful. That's why he does things wonderfully. So I explained here also, I think, that Krishna gives travel to his devotees. Whether Krishna gives or Maya gives, travel is the integral part of material existence. Right? So three modes of material nature will not keep us in a happy condition. They will never allow. There will be always difficulty, because this world is the world of difficulty. Difficulties will be there, tribulations will be there, challenges will be there, anxiety will be there. So this is the world of that kind of things. So when someone fully surrenders to Krishna, if someone is not surrendered, he will go through these difficulties because of his karma. But when someone fully surrenders, so Krishna says there is no karma anymore. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam praja aham tang sarva papeva moksha samay masucha. You are released from all karma. That not will happen. No more karma, no more material existence. Then blissful life. Yes, definitely blissful. But not without any tribulations. Then Krishna takes control of that devotee who is fully surrendered. Then what he does, although at the level of full surrender, the devotee is almost pure, but there are certain subtle impurities. He is not completely pure. Then Krishna wants to make sure that he becomes completely pure. Then what he does, he puts the devotee into difficult situation. Unless someone goes through difficulty, purity will not come. Difficulty leads to purity. Comfort leads to decline. So therefore, Krishna always wants to keep his devotee in an alert mode. When we are in difficulty, we become very alert and become purified. So then, through that difficult situation, one becomes purified by the intervention of Krishna. Then he is pure. Then what Krishna will do? He'll put him in more difficulty. Why? Because he wants to increase the intensity of his love. Although he has developed love, but Krishna is not satisfied with that love. Krishna wants to see he goes to the top level. So that's why he puts the devotee into more difficulty, so that his intensity of love for him increases. Now that comes to a climax, then what to do? Love is intensified. Perfect. Then also, he puts the devotee into difficulty to preach Krishna consciousness, to show to the whole world, see how a Mahabhagavat, how a pure devotee responds to difficult situations. So that is the case of Madhavendra Puri. Gopal is showing to the whole world, see how my pure devotee acts at the transcendental platform. So Madhavendra Puri, although he was a pure devotee, that situation was very difficult situation. But Madhavendra Puri did not think a moment that how to go, whether to go, when to go immediately. He entrusted the responsibility to these pujaris, and he was ready to go. Before going to Puri, he went to Bengal. He went to the house of Advaita Acharya, Santipur, and he initiated Advaita Acharya there. So Advaita Acharya is a initiated disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Then he came to Remuna, the place of Gopinath, who became Khirchura Gopinath, because Gopinath stole that condensed milk, kheer, for Madhavendra Puri. And this story is narrated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Remuna. After taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu was on the way to Jagannath Puri. And he also stopped at Kirchara Gopinath, Remuna. And he told that I heard this story from my spiritual master, Ishvara Puri. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is establishing the principle of Guru Parampara. We should speak what we hear. Prabhupada said, I repeated what I heard from my spiritual master. I was like a postman. We should not manufacture things. Who is a loyal servant of Guru Parampara? Who does not manufacture new things. But intellectual mind always wants to create something new. And in that way, he lands up in speculation and get deviated from Guru Parampara and lost in Maya. So who is the loyal servant of Guru Parampara? Who repeats the words of the spiritual master. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to say, I used to hear with rapt attention. Whenever I used to give class, he was very, very attentive in my class. Till the end of the class, he used to hear. And that was the secret of success of Abhay Sharan Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, because he repeated the words of his spiritual master. That is the process. Vasudev heard from, Vasudev spoke to Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami repeated. Sutta Goswami heard, he repeated the same thing. In that way, whole parampara continued. That is the meaning of Guru Parampara. As it is, we have to repeat without our concocted ideas. So we should not speak what has not been spoken. But Prabhupada said, who is a realized soul, who can repeat in a very simple way the complicated subject matter. How do you know that someone is realized? Who can present the complicated subject matter in a very simple way. That is a symptom of realized soul. And what is the symptom of not realized soul? Who can make the simple thing very complicated. That is a symptom of non-realized soul. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling that I heard from Ishvara Puri. And I am repeating that. So repeating the words of the spiritual master is very, very important principle. Even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is maintaining that principle. So what happens after that? We will continue tomorrow because time is up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Madhavendra Puri ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Binda ki, Gaur Premanande. Yes. Any question, comment?
Hare Krishna. Ruchi, thank you for the wonderful class. In the beginning, you told about controllership. So in that, I just wanted to ask, let us say one devotee has a service and he wants to do the service in a proper way. Now, in case say somebody comes and he is like wanting to do in a different way, now efficiency may reduce sometimes. If somebody interferes and it's not happening properly. So how do you differentiate that? Like, is it controllership? So when you want to do service in a nice manner, how is it? How is it different from controllership?
What do you think? What's your opinion? What is the meaning of controllership? Controllership means you want to enjoy the result. That is the meaning of controllership. And what is the meaning of detachment? When you do the things for the enjoyment of Krishna. That is the principle. Doing things rightly is not controllership. When Arjuna was fighting very nicely, but he knew that he is not the controller. Right? So that consciousness has to be there. You do your best, then leave the rest. So if you are attached to the result, then that is the meaning of controllership. Okay. How to do that? That will happen when you cultivate purity. It cannot be managerially explained. It's not a managerial subject matter. But we want to put it managerially. So this mood cannot be cultivated unless we cultivate purity. When heart will become pure, naturally this quality will manifest. What is the symptom of purity? When you do things for Krishna's pleasure. So in that way, slowly, slowly, that mood will be automatically manifest in the heart. Okay? It's a gradual process. Don't worry so much. But work on it. Praying for Krishna's intervention, because it will happen by the intervention of the pure devotees and by the intervention of Krishna. Changing nature is very difficult. Okay. Mind will always justify that I am correct. He is wrong. Right or wrong? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Zoom. Okay.
You can
Yes,
please tell your name.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My name is Dakshina Rajagopi. Prabhu, I just had this question. You very nicely clarified that sadhana bhakti is actually, it is one of the stage, it is like sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and then this, it is a stage of uttama bhakti, and all of them are uttama bhakti. So that was a very nice clarification. But Prabhu, I was thinking, so if sadhana bhakti, as in when we are following the rules and regulations and when we are doing bhakti, if that has to qualify as uttama bhakti, as in even while doing rules and regulations, so what should be our mood? I mean, you said that improving the mood of trying to improve the quality itself qualifies as raganuga bhakti, which is the next stage, bhava bhakti. You mentioned that, but like what should be the mood, Prabhu? If you can just elaborate a little more on that.
You can summarize your question, it will be better.
Okay, Prabhu. So my question is, so if sadhana bhakti, like you said, it is also uttama bhakti. So while following the rules and regulations also, if we have to qualify, if we have to maintain the standard of uttama bhakti, what exactly should be our mood? Because mood is, we are still doing with rules and regulations, but how can we fine tune the mood, so that it will still be uttama bhakti?
Uttama Bhakti principle is that Anna Vilasita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anabritam. That is a principle. Principle is that we should perform angas of bhakti. Karma, jnana is not bhakti. That should be understood. We can do some karma and jnana to assist bhakti, that is different. But where we talk about bhakti means we have to perform the limbs of bhakti, specifically the Navada bhakti. This is bhakti. This is anga. That is a process. So that is the purity of the process. So when you talk about bhakti, we don't talk about karma and jnana. And also, in this world, we have the desire to enjoy the result. That is the purpose of karma. And we want to be liberated also. That is the purpose of jnana. But the purpose of bhakti is to please Krishna. That is the purity of the intention. If these two things are maintained, then that is the platform of Uttama Bhakti. But Uttama Bhakti has three different levels: sadhana, bhava, and prema. So when we do sadhana bhakti, that time there are impurities in the heart. That's why attraction is not there. That's why there is a stage called anartha nibriti. So when we achieve the level of anartha nibriti and come to the level of nishtha, those who are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is a chance that they will develop some attraction to the devotees of Vrindavan. When that attraction is spontaneous, then that is a symptom of Raganuga Bhakti. So Raganuga Bhakti generally begins at the level of Nishtha. And from Nishtha, it will come to Ruchi, then it will come to Asakti. Then when we come to the level of Asakti, then the different emotions of Bhakti will manifest. We can understand our Sarup also. What is my relationship with Krishna? Who am I? We can see Krishna also face to face. That is a symptom of Bhava. And when that Bhava matures, it becomes Prema. So there's different levels, but the fundamental principle is that intention has to be pure and process has to be pure. At the sadhana level, intention is pure and also process is pure, but the practitioner has impurities. But he doesn't want that impurity. He doesn't want to entertain that impurity. That's why he is a sadhaka. But when impurities will disappear completely, then he'll come to the level of bhava. Then he is no more a sadhaka. But as long as impurity will be there in the heart of a devotee, he will remain at the platform of a sadhaka. Okay? And
Yes,
as
sir.
long as impurities will be there, that spontaneous attraction, the mood will not come. The mood will come when heart will be pure. That's why sadhana bhakti is performed based on shraddha, not on lova. When heart will be pure, then attraction will come. That is lova. So now we are doing bhakti. Why? Because we have shraddha in the words of the spiritual master and we have shraddha in the words of the scriptures. That is the principle of sadhana bhakti. But we don't have attraction. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Any other question? From internet? Okay. From here? On site? Yes.
How to balance maturity versus purity. So sometimes we understand that ultimately purity in the process is to be always kept the foremost importance. For example, if we are taking care of a new bhakta and he is taking time to come on the level of purity, so we give him some time because he is still new. But if we allow too much time for him to continue in that level, thinking we have to adjust, we have to give him time, but then it appears that in the long run he's developed a deficiency which he's not able to come over it, and then we feel that because we did not appear strict with him, he developed this problem. So in the mood of giving him time, we may end up giving something wrong. We should have been strict, so we compromise on purity. That is what I understand. So how to reconcile?
How to reconcile means what? How much time we should give?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
It depends, case to case. Some people ask, how long it will take to experience love of God? When I can taste the holy name?
Love of Godhead is very far off thing. I'm just talking about attending morning programs.
Okay, that is sadhana. That's
Sadhana
it's a
level.
managerial thing. It's not.
Means he is not able to get up early morning.
Okay.
And that how much time to allow?
How much time?
Yes.
Depends. It's not a absolute thing. It's not a big thing. Some may have a chronic disease, they may need more time. Some may have less disease, they will take a small time. Depends on the patient and expertise of the doctor. By Prabhupada's association, the hippies become happy quickly. So someone may not be quickly because purity of the person maintaining the ashram may not be there. So there can be many reasons. It's not that only he cannot practice, that's why everything is wrong. There can be many reasons. But Prabhupada always wanted rectification, not removal. It's an inclusive process. Removal. We have a tendency to remove. He is not fit. So that understanding Prabhupada never adopted. He always gave chance. How many times? Depends on the level of the leader. Compassion is the higher principle. Justice is I was hearing a very nice thing. Justice is the highest principle. But compassion is higher than that. So, but you have to be qualified to show that compassion. So how much compassion can be shown depends on the leader.
Because after one devotee told, I am not able to finish 16 rounds, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. Then Prabhupada told, then I will get a professional. What is the use of you if you are not able to balance?
Prabhupada did so many things in so many ways. There is no one formula for everything. Depends on the individual, depend on the situation, and depend on the person handling the situation. So many factors are there. There is no absolute formula given.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanyavad.
Prabhu, is there anything wrong that if we do the chanting faster? Because my habit is to talk little faster. I'm talking slowly. Usually I talk faster, so my chanting also will be faster. Is there anything wrong with that?
Provided you hear properly and also pronounce properly.
Yes, Prabhu, I hear, I pronounce properly. I do it early morning.
Principle is that you have to pronounce very distinctly and clearly, and it should be heard properly.
Yes.
The speed should not be super fast, 100-meter race, and it should not be also like very slow, like a tortoise. It should be balanced. Devotee's life should be a balanced life. So chanting speed should be also balanced. Not too fast, not too slow.
Okay. Okay.
If you do too fast, then there is possibility of skipping the words of Mahamantra. And if you go too slow, there is a tendency to sleep. Oh, I am meditating. Okay, then you sleep. So go balanced. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The course of that is bhakti, we gain knowledge. This knowledge, we are carrying it to the next life, Prabhu.
Which knowledge?
Knowledge like Bhagavad Gita. Then, no doubt we will definitely, with the mercy of Lord and Guru and Gauranga, we will achieve the goal of life if there is mercy. But how about the knowledge? Knowledge what we are thinking now, what we are thinking in the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita.
It will also remain. Just like Gajendra, he started praying. How? He could remember the past life.
Can,
Yes. Better not to have past, present, next life. Prabhupada said, finish it up and go back. That is the desire of Prabhupada. We have done enough journey. So journey should be closed this life. But even if you continue, the whatever you have done in this life will be preserved. Bhakti will be preserved. If you have done bhakti 50% perfection, that will remain. You will start from 51%. Maybe somebody was at the level of asakti in the last life, then he can start with bhava. And Rupa Goswami explains also, Prabhupada explains that some people from childhood, they without doing any sadhana, they have spontaneous attraction for Krishna. Bhava, symptoms of bhava are manifest. Why? Because they have completed. Just up to the stage of asakti. In the last life could not complete his journey. That's why from his childhood he is showing the symptoms of bhava without any sadhana. You should not think that is magic so. They have done it in their last life. Yes, Prabhuji?
Prabhu, when we say love of Godhead, because Madhavendra Puri represents that he brought the Prema Bhakti, love of Godhead.
Not Prema Bhakti.
Yeah.
I said conjugal love.
Conjugal love. Yeah. But the question is that even in Sadhana Bhakti also there could be love of Godhead. Even
No. Sadhana Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti is devotional service in practice. Yeah. Love of Godhead means Prema Bhakti. It is Sadhya Bhakti. Sadhana is practice. Sadhya is Prema. The purpose of sadhana is to get Prema.
Yeah. When we also quoted that shloka, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. So when we say Bhaktya, there is this element of love of Godhead.
Yeah, in
So
sadhana
is it-
bhakti there is some element of love, but because without that kind of little bit of bhakti is there, because shraddha is there, but bhakti has different levels.
Yeah.
So at the level of prema, bhakti is completely manifest.
Okay. So is it required that we have to go to the prema bhakti only and then we'll be qualified, or even in sadhana?
What qualified?
For reaching the Godhead.
Definitely.
And also doing
Without
service.
love of Godhead, you cannot enter into the spiritual world.
Hmm.
Sadhaka cannot enter into the spiritual world.
Sadhaka cannot enter.
Sadhaka has to do sadhana here. Spiritual world is the place of perfection, not for practice.
Very well. Correct.
It's not taught all this sadhana bhakti. People think by sadhana they will go back. Very interesting. Only love of Godhead is the qualification to enter into the spiritual world. Anything else? You have a question?
The intent should be to please Krishna, but the content you told with it should not be covered with jnana and karma. So can you elaborate on jnana and karma? How can it be covered? Bhakti can be covered with jnana and karma.
When you have the doing karma with the purpose to enjoy the result of karma, you still have the faith that karma is very important. I have to do my duty. Doing this duty is very important. Knowledge is very important. Moksha is also very interesting. When you have that kind of impressions, that is covering bhakti. Then that you are not suitable candidate for pure devotional service. But someone is just like Bharat Maharaj, who was performing some karma as a king, but he was doing it completely for the purpose of pleasing Krishna, and he was remembering Krishna all the time. Arjuna was fighting the battlefield. He was doing his karma, but he was remembering 24 hours of Krishna. That's why that karma also becomes Uttama Bhakti. Okay? But if you do the duty to get the result, I'll become king, then you're stuck. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Binda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. At the level of sadhana, they have the level of super. At the level of Sava, dimension becomes at the level of Prema, that kind of moksha is you don't understand. How is it? That is a symptom of under nothing.